Are we go? We're going. Hi, Ann. How are you?
Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. By the way, you're Ann Hawkins, Director of Communication. Let me do that again.
Okay,
You're. Hi, Ann. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. And you are Ann Hawkins, Director of Communications for the Film Noir Foundation.
And you're Eddie Muller, the president of the Film Noir Foundation.
So I've been told. So I have been
That's the
told.
scuttlebutt.
Yeah, and we are here for another installment of Ask Eddie and Ann. And before we get rolling here, um, I just want to point out a couple of quick things. Number one, uh, I was a little late getting in here, and I had to run upstairs, and my lovely wife Kathleen made me a martini
Oh, nice.
and brought it up to me, and we started a little, you know, behind, so nobody gets to see her when she delivered this martini to me, but it does have olives, and I do my martinis with a twist. And Kathleen knows that, but it's raining here now.
Yeah,
And she we actually have a lemon tree right outside our back door,
yeah.
and it's the best lemon tree ever. But she would not go outside to pick a lemon to give me a lemon twist, so I'm having olives tonight.
Yeah, when I
These
first
these these
yeah.
are the sacrifices I make.
Yeah, when I first moved to San Francisco, I was stunned the first time I saw a lemon tree. Like, it's not like I didn't know that lemons grow on trees, but it was just more, I've never lived anywhere where there was like a lemon tree.
Well, we have what's known as the Mediterranean climate here, and very, very good for citrus. And yeah, our lemon tree, which was came with the house when we bought it, is incredible. I don't do anything to it, and it just produces massive amounts of Meyer lemons
Oh,
at a
nice.
prodigious rate, and it's just great. Okay, and the other thing, well, before we get started, you're good. Everything good?
It's
People
been
want to know, and people
no,
care. They want to
uh,
know.
yeah, it's been Emily's having some health problems. My dear friend Brendan, who's my ex, his mother is dying. He just found out, and the day
Okay,
job has been really stressful. But today I got through the hump with the day job, so I'm in a much better mood since this afternoon. I got my deadline out for the client, so now I'm feeling better about everything from that.
making a deadline does that to you. Make
Hmm.
life improves dramatically when you hit a deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
tell me about it. I have quite a few stacked up that I'm probably not going to make, but I'm giving it my best effort. So I have put off finishing an essay I'm writing on the Claude Sautet film Classe Tourisque with Lino Ventura and Jean-Paul Belmondo,
mhm.
which is part of the book I'm doing with Imogen Sarah Smith, our Noir Around the World book, and it's my last entry in the French chapter, and I'm trying to finish that tonight, but that's on hold while we do this. And while I'm mentioning that, let's just remind people that Imogen Sarah Smith is the editor of the Noir City Magazine, which is published quarterly by the Film Noir Foundation. And how can they get that publication, Ann?
It's very easy. First, you sign up for our newsletter on our email list, which also gets you the newsletter. Which, by the way, is where we solicit questions for Ask Eddie. So then you can also get a question on Ask Eddie that way. And then two, you donate $20 or more to the Film Noir Foundation. And then that gives you the digital version of the magazine. So when an issue drops, then we send you a little email with a download link, and it's simple stuff. And when this airs, the new issue will have been out because this
Yeah,
is airing next week. So,
correct. You
so
know,
you,
Ann, this is our equivalent of the disclaimer thing in every Major League Baseball game. The depictions and accounts of this game are the property of Major League Baseball, and blah blah blah. It's like I feel like that's what we're doing every time we do the little pitch for like this is all because of the Film Noir Foundation. Okay.
Yes, and your money that you donate goes to our restoration efforts. So people
absolutely,
know, that's what we do with the money.
Which I have to say are kind of about to explode. We've been a little dormant in the last, post COVID. We've been a little dormant with everybody trying to get back in the swing of things. And one of the restorations that I've been working on, it took a lot of time, just getting the materials in our possession, but it's done now, and we'll be premiering that in April at the festival in Hollywood. And then after that, there's just an incredible number of projects in the pipeline that we're going to start banging out one after another. So it's pretty exciting. So people are going to be getting a lot of news from the foundation this year. So before we get going into the questions, I just wanted to tell you a quick funny story. This isn't too revelatory on my part, but it was kind of amusing. Last night, I popped into my local dispensary here in my hometown.
Yes.
And because I am a big advocate of CBN, which is for sleep.
Yes.
Right. And because I do so much stuff, it's very difficult to get my brain to turn off when I go to bed. Right. And when Tizzy was alive, Tizzy would wake me up a couple of times a night because she needed assistance with business. And I had a hell of a hard time getting back to sleep. And CBN, I have found, is the miracle. I just take one of these edible gummies.
Yeah.
Like an hour before bedtime every night. And I find that even if I do wake up in the middle of the night, it's very easy to go back to sleep. Right. And it's fantastic. So I went in to re-up on my edibles. And the guy who checks your ID at you have to give your driver's license when you go in. And the guy was like, "Whoa, dude, it's you." And he had been to Noir City, and I'd signed books for him at the Noir City Christmas show. And he went to like 4 or 5 Connor. And here's the great thing. So Connor also watches us do this show.
Oh, cool.
So Connor is probably listening right now. I don't have any idea if this is going to get me any kind of discount, but it was really cool, because he had been to a bunch of the shows at Noir City at the Grand Lake in Oakland, and it was great. And then I turned him on to my buddy Bob Calhoun does a podcast called Old Movies for Young Stoners.
Oh, cool.
And I hate to break the news to Bob and his colleagues on that show, but they aren't really young stoners. It's like old movies for middle-aged stoners. But it's kind of fun. Why not? If you're gonna, I wrote a whole book pairing cocktails with movies, and these guys do the same with their sativa and their indica and all that, of which I am no expert, but I'm happy to go along.
Okay. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, at the end of the show, I do want to talk about what I've been watching.
Of course, we will definitely do that. I'll probably kick in a couple of things as well. Okay, so shall we get rolling?
I guess we have questions. So So let's start
I
with.
guess we better have questions.
Okay, so this is from Terry. I couldn't help noticing, watching Vice Squad, the similarity between Edward Ben's characters named Alvin Barkis and real life public enemy number one, Alvin Creepy Karpis. Karpis, who ended up being the prisoner serving the most years in Alcatraz, 26 years, 1936 to 62, and at some point gave guitar lessons to Charles Manson. What do you think?
I what do I think? I don't know. I mean, it's a reasonable assumption to assume they named the guy kind of close, After that, I mean, I was just writing about Class to Risk, and the character played by Lino Ventura is named Abel Davos, and the actual criminal that he's based on is Abel Danos. I mean, they literally just changed one letter, which is what happened here, right? Alvin Barkis and Alvin Karpis. I think there's, I don't know, but I mean, I have no proof of that, so I don't know what that all means. But I didn't know that Alvin Karpis gave guitar lessons to Charles Manson. So if I can verify that, that's an interesting little tidbit. That Charles Manson, the lives he intersected with is pretty interesting, right? So
Yeah.
we won't get into the whole Doris Day part of that, but you know what I'm talking about, I assume. Yeah. Okay. I have no answer for you, Terry. Just like yes, you saw that, and there it was. But I appreciate, Anne, you're putting that question in at the top to try to keep us timely.
Yes.
Because I just showed Vice Squad last week on TCM. And, most of these questions I'm betting are like a year or more old. But
no, not anymore, because we've been doing the lightning round. So we are actually now we're like 10 months behind.
10 months out
not a year
instead.
behind
Okay,
anymore.
very good. So what you're saying is a lot of people are going to get their questions answered in the lightning round, and we're going to try to catch up with that.
Yes. So that's what we're trying to do, is the ones that I think we can do a pretty short answer to, I'm throwing into the lightning round, and it is helping. We're getting through the backlog.
Good. Now, if we can just be quick in the lightning round, be fast as lightning, that'll be a real accomplishment. Yes. Okay, here is a question from someone in, I'm going to pronounce this, Billerica, Massachusetts, which I have never heard of. So do you know anything about Billerica?
I do not, but I know Coleman.
Okay, well, this is a question from Coleman.
Responded to this personally.
Okay.
As well, but I wanted to also read it on the air. So.
Okay. All right. Coleman says, and I'm glad I'm reading this one because this is entirely aimed at you. I watched Loving Adults on Netflix after Anne's recommendation. I am not familiar with Danish cinema, but you're 1 for 1 with this, and I will give others a chance. One grievance, however, I wish Anne hadn't spoiled a twist in the plot. I guess this is supposed to contain a question to be legally sent to Ask Eddie. I don't know if there's any illegal aspect to our production. So if all the Danish films out there, what should a noir fan view next? You saw that happen. Noir fan view, noir van view. After Loving Adults, but please don't tell me anything about it.
Yeah. So what happened?
And I just want to, before you give your answer, I just want to preface this by saying, welcome to the club. I get this all the time. Even when I don't actually reveal plot points, people think I have revealed plot points. I like Eddie's introductions on TCM. I just wish he wouldn't spoil the plot. I never talk about the plot, but people think they hear me talk about the plot. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So I made a mistake when I was talking about that film because I had forgotten what the thing that I mentioned actually was much later, revealed later in the film. So that was me misremembering and me actually revealing something they're not supposed to get revealed until later in the
Uh-oh.
story. So I felt really bad about that.
Oh.
So my apologies. If you guys didn't hear me last week, go watch Loving Adults. It's a great Danish noir, which I highly
And don't pay
recommend.
any attention to anything other than the recommendation that you watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess for so a lot of it, our people watch us on Facebook, and if you don't, I'll let you know that I have on my personal Facebook page at the very top pinned is my a list of Danish film noir for people, so you can just go look at that. I would say probably like the Pusher films, I think are good. As the first one's really kind of the most noirish. The second one is Mads Mikkelsen breaking your heart for an hour and a half. It's a tough watch, but his performance is amazing. Bleeder, which is a film I love, but I had to buy an import of that, and I was lucky because I got the import cheap. That usually goes for a lot of money. But if there's any way you can find a way to watch Bleeder, I really love Bleeder a lot.
Isn't it amazing how much you have to pay sometimes to get a film that you really. I paid $200 for my Blu-ray copy of Aimless Bullet from Korea.
Wow.
$200 for that.
Yeah.
Because it was hard to find and out of print, you know?
Yeah. And Pusher goes for at least like, I think it was like at least $70 and way higher than that. But I managed to get it for like $30 from an English store. So I felt like really happy when I got that. And then also I would just really recommend, I mean, they're not really noir, but they do usually have a crime element, but Anders Thomas Jensen, I think is a genius. I'm gonna say it straight out. And so I recommend all his films. But I think for the more, I mean, I think probably Adam's Apple is probably the most noirish, and it's a Ulrich Thompson plays a neo-Nazi that is getting out of prison, so he has to go to this basically a Church of Denmark halfway house, and Mass plays the Reverend in it, and so it's really interesting. It's funny, and like with most of Anner's films, it's sort of this combination of being like really funny, but also really disturbing. And there's like a lot of trauma and stuff going on with the other people that live in the house. But basic, so sort of
be careful, you don't give away any plot.
I know, I'm trying not to give too much away, but basically, Or's character is trying to break the priest, sort of just out of like just being kind of a terrible person. Yeah, so it's sort of about their story. I don't want to give too much away. And it's the only film where Nicolas Lecouz does not have a major part, but he has the best cameo in it, which was really fun. And then Flickering Lights, which
Flickering Lights is pretty great.
Yeah, that's my favorite film of his. Like, there's just something about the one I go back to the most. But most recently, he did Riders of Justice, which was probably
why do you think you have a particular fondness for Danish films? Is it just Mads Mikkelsen or
no? Because I also really like Nicolas Lecouz, who I have a massive crush on, and Ulrich Thompson and Anders is just like a genius. And by the way, he's also a screenwriter, so there's like a ton of, if it's a prominent Danish film, he's probably co-written it or written it. He's a really very prolific film writer.
And I think you need to write a piece for the Noir City Magazine about Danish noir.
I think that would be a great idea. I mean, there's definitely stuff that I could do, and it'd be interesting because I really do like Danish films a lot. Obviously,
yeah. From
our,
I mean, let's let's preserve this for posterity on the printed page. I'm so old school. That's what I think the ultimate thing is, right?
Right.
I mean, it's great to do it on a podcast and stuff, but let's put it on paper.
Mom, there's definitely ones to do. I still haven't watched Ordette, which is been on my list forever. The Drewer film. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Have you ever? Do you know my friend Krista Faust?
no, we've never actually met, even though she's a Hannibal fan, though. So I see her.
Krista is. You guys would have to arm wrestle as to who is the biggest Mads Mikkelsen fan, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she's totally obsessed with him.
Yeah.
She actually has a figurine.
Oh yeah, I've seen her. I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, an articulated figurine that she poses in really provocative ways
Yeah.
and posts them on her,
Well, no,
feed
it comes because
Krista.
I follow Mass. I've seen her, but that's how I found out she was a Hannibal fan because I was like, oh man, that's Krista Faust.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm obsessed with Mass though. I just got a big I want to it's like I don't know, I just admire him tremendously.
Yeah.
Is what I would say about for me. It's just like I love the fact that he and his wife have been together forever. So I love seeing photos of them together. Remind me of my parents. In the sense that, a couple that's just been together for a really, really long time, and which is a trait.
And he's a phenomenal actor.
He's a great actor. Yeah. Great. I mean, I think he's one of the best actors working right now.
Yeah. Well, I think absolutely. you're fixated, not fixated, but you're a fan of Mads Mikkelsen the way I'm a fan of Ricardo Darín in Argentina, who I think who is like my favorite contemporary film actor, because he can just do anything. Play a villain, he's perfect. Play a great guy that you totally empathize with, he's fantastic. These are just great actors. Yeah. And it's just interesting that they're not making English language movies.
Yeah, I mean, and when Mask does, he's always a villain. It's like that's the only way that people can see him. I've watched very, very few of his American films. Actually, I haven't seen that much of it because I'm just not that interested.
Well, I mean, everybody knows him because of Casino Royale. That was where he broke out. Yeah. But it's just funny, and that's why Darín has never made an English language movie, is because they only want him to play drug dealers, and and he won't do it. So anyway, interesting. Okay, moving on.
So this is from Ray. Since many were shut out of the opening night at Black Angel at Noir City 23, could you please schedule it for some time on your Saturday night show? Also, why can't I see Johnny Stool Pigeon? Howard Duff why can't I see Johnny Stool Pigeon with Howard Duff on any website? Overjoyed about the popularity and success of Noir City. So were we.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Ray. I showed Black Angel on Noir Alley. I think it was in 2023, December of 2023. If it's available again, it's a Universal picture. There aren't as many Universal pictures readily available to TCM as there used to be. But I guess I'll just take this opportunity to say, in addition to Noir Alley, I will be doing a new edition of The Summer of Darkness on TCM this summer, which is, I'm not exactly sure what the particulars are, like what night it'll be on or whatever, but it'll be a lot more films, but shorter intros. And who knows? I'll certainly be considering Black Angel for a night in the Summer of Darkness. I mean, it's so easy to do a night of Cornell Woolrich movies. if you can't get the rights from one studio, that's okay, because he had a bunch of films made at a different studio.
Yeah.
You're never going to run out of Cornell Woolrich movies to show. So that's pretty cool. And I just want to throw out there that when I was doing my gig in New York for TCM, our TCM Loves New York show last month, and I interviewed Rosie Perez. It's weird. I didn't really interview Rosie Perez. Rosie and I introduced The Sweet Smell of Success. Sweet Smell of Success. There is no the before it. And just somehow she was really starting to impress me with her knowledge of film noir. And she said, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing Tony Curtis in Crisscross, where he danced with Yvonne DiCarlo in the nightclub." And it was like, wow, I mean, who knows that, right? I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, but you've never seen like Johnny Stool Pigeon. He's in Johnny Stool Pigeon. He plays a mute hitman. And she goes, "Oh no, I love Johnny Stool Pigeon. I've seen Johnny Stool Pigeon." That was pretty cool. I have never encountered another, quote unquote celebrity who has seen Johnny Stool Pigeon. So I give huge props to Rosie Perez. She knows what it's all about. God love her.
Don't put your butt in the air.
Okay, so Emily may be not feeling great, but she's feeling enough to
She woke
join
up.
the
She
show.
was taking a little nap earlier on the desk, and now she's decided she wants to wake up and say hello to everybody.
And so I'll take this moment to share that people know that our Tizzy passed away back in late August. She just turned the light out on you.
Oh my God.
She
What did you even do?
I don't know. She knocked your ring light out or something. There you go. But and I have to share this with you. We have had a feral cat living in our basement or on our property for 4 years.
Yes.
This black cat. The black cat is now in the house.
Okay.
The black cat, it has taken 4 years of unbelievable patience.
Yeah.
For this cat to finally come into the house and then decide, you know what? I'm not going to go out the open door. I'm just going to stay here.
All right.
And she actually goes in the basement, which is where she lived originally. But now she's coming up and eating every night and sitting in the living room and just watching us. And it's remarkable. I had the longest conversation I have had with another sentient being in like years with this cat the other night, where we just talked meow, 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 cat talk for like 20 minutes. It's pretty amazing. Okay, just wanted to share that with you.
That's
okay.
wonderful. I know it's been an ongoing saga with your film.
It has been an ongoing saga, and I could share photos and everything. She is now in the house, and like we can touch her, we can pet her. She's not domesticated at all.
Yeah.
But it's happening. Okay.
All right.
Just wanted to share that. So me now?
Yes.
Okay. This is from Joe, our buddy Joe in Suffolk County, New York. Thank you for recognizing Bruno Cremer's talent as Inspector Maigret in Simenon's post-war neorealism noir stories. I'm just disappointed. I've seen them all now. I hope you will also comment on his brilliant performance as the most sympathetic of the four doomed men in Friedkin's Sorcerer, a reassessed masterpiece from 1997. And P.S., You seem to be something of a completist. I mean that as a compliment. Have you read all 75 Maigret novels and all 28 Maigret short stories? I'm not even close. Okay. And apparently there was another person, Marilyn, who also asked for a comment on Bruno Cremer in Sorcerer. I freaking love his performance in Sorcerer. I mean, I love the whole film. Are you a Sorcerer fan?
I have not watched it yet.
Oh,
it's been on my list forever, but now that he's in it, I gotta watch it. Like, it's bumped it way up. It's like, okay, I gotta get off my ass and actually watch it.
Okay, I'll deal. I'll watch Audie Murphy if you watch Bruno Cremer. And
okay,
but he is fantastic in Sorcerer. I would love to talk to him about his experience making that film. The thing, and I'm not going to delve into this too deeply, but if people haven't watched Sorcerer, which I actually is my favorite William Friedkin film, just because I'm a cinephile, and I love the fact that the first 4 chapters of the film, before the guys even get to South America, and it officially becomes a remake of The Wages of Fear, Friedkin does the backstories of the 4 guys who are going to drive the trucks, right? And he does each of these imitating a filmmaking style that's appropriate to that character. So like Roy Scheider, who is the American star of the movie, it's like he's a Jersey gangster, and these guys rob a church, and it's directed in a incredibly American smash mouth crime movie style. It like could have been Don Siegel or Phil Carlson or somebody directing these segments. Then he has I can't Amadou is the actor's name, who's an Arab actor, and he's a revolutionary, and that segment is directed just like Hilo Pontocorva and the Battle of Algiers. It feels very cinema verite, and he's doing this whole stylistic thing that imitates Pontocorva's films. And then Bruno Cremer, Francisco Rabal is a little more generic, Spanish actor, but he's I don't know that he's emulating any particular filmmaking style with that. But the Cremer segment is totally a Claude Chabrol film, where he's like the bourgeois French guy who's been trapped in like an embezzling scheme or something, and he has to flee the country. And I just love how brilliantly Friedkin adopts these different styles to set the backstories of these guys. I'd never actually seen another film do quite that, except Paul Schrader when he did Autofocus. Did you ever see that movie?
I haven't seen Autofocus.
It wasn't that he was imitating filmmaking styles. He was actually telling the story in because it's about a guy videotaping all this pornographic stuff that, Bob Crane and from Hogan's Heroes. And he shoots it all in different film stocks.
Yeah.
And as would be appropriate for a film that starts in the early 60s and goes up through the late 70s, as all the technology is changing. Every time the years change, he shoots it in a different film stock. It's only a film geek would get that and totally obsess over it. But it's kind of similar to the way Friedkin shot Sorcerer. I think so. Maybe other people don't. But
that's why I loved when I saw Galaxy Quest in the theater, because the opening shot of that is shot square, like for TV, because they're showing, you don't know it yet, but it's a clip of the sci-fi TV show. And then when it cuts to the convention, then it's like 1851, right? And then it's being told 1851, and then they actually go into outer space for real, and it goes to 2351.
Blows up, yeah,
And it was just like, I almost started applauding. It was just
yeah.
That was like the best use of it was just brilliant.
Yeah, it's very geeky stuff for film people, but it's pretty cool. I like that. I'm telling you, if people haven't seen Sorcerer, that was one of the best things ever at the TCM festival. Is when Friedkin presented
Oh wow,
his remastered. I've seen Friedkin. God bless him. When he was around, he was such a great filmmaker. I saw him present The Exorcist at TCM, The French Connection, remastered with a remixed soundtrack, which was revelatory. Because the sound, I didn't realize the soundtrack to The French Connection was kind of mush until he remastered it, and it was brilliant. And he also presented Sorcerer, and man, those films are those three movies are his legacy, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And Sorcerer is my favorite of the three. Right. And they're all great, but Sorcerer is my best.
Well, okay, I'm gonna have to watch Sorcerer. Like I said, it's just something.
But don't wait until you can see it on a big screen, because it is spectacular.
I would like to see it on a big screen. You'll have to show it at Noir City next year.
It really is kind of a film noir. Look, I've shown Wages of Fear, right? So I can easily show Sorcerer, but it kills me. It's a wound in my heart that I won't have him there to present the film, because he was the greatest.
And as for me, so where am I with the Maigret novels and short stories? Quite a few years ago, I read the ones I could get, the novels that I could get on Kindle at that time. And then when I was in Portland, I picked up a collection of short stories, which I've been reading. That was a Christmas collection. Only the first two are really Christmas ones. And I've also picked up another one of the novels to start in on after I finish the short stories. So I haven't done them all yet. The only people I've read all the Nero Wolfe novels, and I've read all the Agatha Christie novels. But
that's impressive. Yeah. That is very impressive, Anne. Jesus, oh my God, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think, right? I mean, if you throw in Earl Stanley Garner, I think those are like the three most prolific writers of mystery stories imaginable. So, wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
And
I was on a total, Simenon kick. And it's wonderful to bounce between the standalone noir novels and the Maigret detective novels. Yeah. They're very, very different.
Yeah.
I mean, it displays perfectly the difference between a detective story and a noir story. Because his standalone books are noir tales where he follows the villain or the person who is doing bad things, right?
Yeah.
Where the Maigret novels are clearly you're following the investigator solving the crime. But man, those books are incredibly good. But then I discovered this other writer, Pascal Garnier, who kind of is, to me, followed in Simenon's footsteps as writing short, really dark, weird novellas in a noir vein, and I absolutely love his stuff as well. So I'll probably kick off before I finish all the works of Simenon or Garnier. I'll certainly never read all Agatha Christie's stuff. Anyway, but that makes me happy. Makes me very happy to know that all these books are out there, uh, for us to enjoy. Jesus.
Yeah, and and Christie's like all her novels are all still in print. I mean, that's the amazing thing with her.
Yeah.
I've never had to hunt for one of her books, and I can't say that about like any other of the mystery authors. Sometimes you really have to
That's true.
hunt for ones, but hers are always in print.
Yep.
Which is and it's like I said, I think it kind of shows that there's still a lot of sort of sexism when it comes to how mysteries and detective fiction is held, because she's the number one crime writer of all time, period. And that, like,
it's kind of hard to argue with that,
and it's just, I feel like that's not really acknowledged.
It is, but you're right. It is and I've experienced that firsthand, because when I was writing crime fiction and got in that hole, and I still am, might as well throw that out there. But it was interesting how it broke down on sexist lines.
Yeah.
And that was 25 years ago. And it was, the guys just, they subscribed to a certain thing, like the hard-boiled and the noir was the territory of the guys, the cozies, the domestics. The awards for the cozy books are called the Agathas,
which is ridiculous, because have people not read And Then There Were None?
Well, but that's
read And Then There Were None and tell me she's a cozy writer. She's not.
But you see, it has nothing to do with the books themselves. It has to do with how the people who read the books self-identify, and it's just weird. I mean, I cannot tell you how you'd go to these mystery writers conventions, and the guys would all be on one side of the bar and the women would all be on the other side of the bar. And it was like, they don't understand and blah, 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 And that's like why I became friends with Krista, is because Krista Faust was like, fuck it, I'm going to hang out with the guys over here, and then little by little, many more women started joining for lack of a better term, the hardcore group, people who wanted to write novels that didn't resolve well. Yeah. Right. And then there were many, many more women who were writing that stuff than there were men who were writing, self-contained, fun mystery stories. And I don't know how in the world this whole thing happened. Well, I do know how it happened. That's just the way the species works. It's really weird. But, as you are well aware, I've been on a campaign for years to get Patricia Highsmith acknowledged as like one of the greatest noir writers of all time. So if you're going to talk about, David Goodis and Jim Thompson and these people as the greatest noir writers, let's be honest, Patricia Highsmith kind of is a better noir novelist than David Goodis. I mean, she just is.
Yeah. Well, and also, it's also like Charlotte Armstrong. I mean, there's all these women writers that have kind of been, forgotten in a way. And anyway.
Well, they've been, I don't, this is too strong a word. I'm going to say, and I'll stick with it, degraded. And I don't mean that. I just mean that in a very literal sense. Yeah. Degraded.
Yeah.
right? Like if you were, they deserve to be an A writer, but they have been degraded
Yeah.
to like a B or a B minus writer because they can't possibly, she's not Raymond Chandler. She's not, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Raymond Chandler never wrote a plot that held together in his life,
Yeah.
right? That's not why you read Raymond Chandler. You read Raymond Chandler for the prose and for the voice and,
Yeah.
for how it makes you feel. You're not reading it because it's a great, compelling story. I challenge anybody to recount a Raymond Chandler plot to save their life. You can't do it. Anyway, okay,
Okay.
enough of that. Let's move on, or we'll never get to the supposed lightning round.
This is Paul from Nashville. I've seen the 1949 film noir Caught a few times. Can you tell me why it's considered a noir? To me, it's basically a husband treating his wife badly. Wouldn't that fall into the category of melodrama?
Well, Paul, it's a homme fatale story, and it was right. So, I mean, here,
Yeah.
this is kind of interesting because it
Yeah, it's good. It
dovetails with
kind of
what we're
leads into
saying
what we're
about
talking about.
the way people treat stories about men and women very differently. Uh, Nobody would have a problem considering this noir if it was a man who fell under the spell of an evil woman, right? That's noir. But this is a woman who falls for a homme fatale, the last guy she should ever meet. Uh, and it was, it's a Max Ophuls film, and it was made at the same time as The Reckless Moment, which is, a fantastic domestic noir. So I think, film critics tend to, because of the time it was made, and I'm not saying this is an excuse for like it's not really a noir, but I'll explain to you why it is. To me, it's like Cosmopolitan magazine noir, right? It's like, here's my story about marrying Mr. Wrong. I mean that's what Caught is, and I wonder if Howard Hughes ever saw it, because I totally believe that this was because Max Ophuls was one of the 5 directors who Hughes hired to try to save the movie Vendetta that he was making for his his the second coming of Jane Russell, Faith Demurred. And he just screwed the whole thing up. And but Ophuls was one of those directors, and I think he clearly modeled the Robert Ryan character in that movie on Howard Hughes. What that has to do with it being noir, I have no idea, but it's certainly part of what's going on in that movie. And I just think, I wonder, Paul, with all due respect, if when I saw this question, I immediately knew it was from a guy. Because I don't know that a woman would say, I question the noir credentials of that film. Because the protagonist is a woman and she makes a grave mistake in the guy she chooses. I mean, I understand that it does play out like a melodrama, but I also understand why a lot of people think it qualifies as noir. Basically, because it's of the time in which it was made, where it gets sucked into the whole idea of there being a noir movement. Uh, but I do also think if you believe in the femme fatale character, then you should believe in the homme fatale character, and that's what noir is. I mean, that's what Caught is all about.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I started to reread the book that Suspicion is based on, um, which is not Malice Aforethought. It is Before the Fact.
Before the fact, correct. Before the fact.
And I just started to kind of reread that again, and I think it's like one of the most brilliant books on codependence that I've ever read. Like that's what really struck me about it. but that's a really good example of like that's really a noir story, you know, and he's really an homme fatale. I mean, she's exactly like one of these male characters from a film noir, this being kind of taken in by this attractive,
Yeah.
you
It's like a
know,
gaslight thing, you know? It's
yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my colleague Alicia Malone. I just read I read a draft in manuscript form of her first novel.
Yeah.
Uh, and that movie, the book and movie Suspicion play a part
Oh.
in the novel. So she references that very early on in the book. It's good. It's a lot of fun. So we have that to look forward to. It's a yeah, it's about a woman taking over a failing movie theater and trying to keep it going. And then somebody dies in the projection room.
Oh, sounds like
Perfect.
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Our idea of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is a murder in a projection room in one of the Columbo episodes, by the way. Okay, you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, from John in Tampa. It's been a while since a Flickr Alley release. Nothing coming soon?
Yeah, there will be things coming soon. This is what I was saying about
Yeah.
The Film Noir Foundation has a lot of stuff in the pipeline. There will be something coming pretty soon. Okay. Certainly in 2026. Yeah.
Fantastic. This is from Arlene. I see that the TCM Classic Cruise is happening right in the middle of Noir City DC. Are we coining Eddie? I just wondered, since I was hoping to attend in DC. I usually go to the Philadelphia Fest, but I'll be on the cruise. Poor me. I guess I'll stick to Phoenixville this year. Fingers crossed it returns in 2026.
I think I'm doing them all.
Okay.
It's amazing that that's a quick turn, but I think I am doing back to back to back. I am doing, and I don't know which order. Noir City DC, the TCM Cruise, and the Morelia International Film Festival. I think I'll be doing all three of those things in October. So I'll see you there.
Wow. John in Laguna Hills, California. Any news or updates on getting a DVD or Blu-ray of Felix Feast 1947, The Devil Thumbs a Ride?
Not Felix Feist. Not going to happen in the United States of America.
No.
Just
okay.
Warner Brothers has given up on they don't own the rights to it, so we'll see what happens. I mean, but you better have if you want it, you better have an all region Blu-ray player.
And this is from John. I'm very fond of a B entitled The Affairs of Jimmy Valentine. Although hardly a noir, even with Dennis O'Keefe in front of the camera and John Alton handling cinematography, do you know if anyone has ever tracked down or bothered to track down the missing 20 minutes which were cut out for the television broadcast?
No idea.
Okay.
That's weird. I mean, I don't have any idea about that. I've never seen that movie. That just doesn't, that's not on my radar. So thank you for the suggestion. I'll do a little research there.
Okay. And this is from Chaz. For the love of God, could you or one of your people please make a simple yet complete master list of all of the noir movies I'm supposed to watch in my lifetime? Just the titles. Maybe years, but no graphic.
That's pretty funny. Can't do it because the whole who sent this question in?
Chaz.
Okay. Can't do it because it's totally subjective. Your definition of noir is totally subjective. So you will never have a complete list. That list could be as short as 200 movies and as long as 2,000 movies. I mean, This is why I never, people keep asking noir or not. Is it noir or isn't it noir? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, and then God forbid you start adding in movies not made in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're never like this just before that you asked this question or read this question, a film was mentioned that I have no knowledge of whatsoever. What was it called? Something Jimmy Valentine? I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. I don't know anything about it. So is it film noir or not? Who knows? I don't know. It could be a classic example of the form, or it could be nothing appropriate whatsoever. But no, there won't be a list, and you shouldn't. My advice to people is don't obsess over it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't collect the films, experience the films. That's my attitude.
Yep. And there's definitely guides to film noir where you can get a pretty good listing. And you can also, but also like there's like books on Brit noir. So if you decide to go down that rabbit hole, you can get down that rabbit hole. I'm sure someone must have written one on Japanese noir at this point. So
this bookshelf back here, right there, that I'm pointing at, is filled with books on film noir from all over the world. I mean, that's what's there. Spanish noir, French noir, Scandinavian noir. It's endless. But if you go at it like checking off the boxes, I saw that. Are you actually enjoying them? I mean, like, I appreciate, Anne, like your total immersion in Danish noir. That's totally cool. I mean, eventually you're going to be like the expert on Danish noir, but you're not watching them just to say, okay, I saw them all. You're watching them because you really enjoy it
Yeah. And I'm definitely a rabbit hole type of person. I get interested in something and then I go on that.
Well, that's why that person said, are you a completist?
Yeah.
Right. And it's weird that I have to realize I'm not really a completist. I don't feel like, oh my God, I haven't seen that. I have to find that right now. I'm more like, oh, that's interesting. I'll get around to that at some point. Okay.
Okay, so you read 6.
Okay, so we're done with the lightning round.
We're done with the lightning round.
We actually did that pretty efficiently.
We actually did that pretty fast this time.
Okay, very good. Okay, here's number 6. This is Joe. Joe on Long Island, which is not Joe from Suffolk County.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a different Joe.
I recently watched Blood Simple, which I had seen before, and The Last Seduction. And my major takeaway was how awful both leading men were. John Getz in Blood Simple and Peter Berg in The Last Seduction. Both films suffered tremendously from these bland, uninteresting performances. And although both characters were disposable as far as the plot was concerned, it still brought both films down in whatever quality might have been. In both cases, the supporting cast was way more interesting. Thoughts? Well, Joe, I completely disagree especially about Peter Berg in The Last Seduction, who I think is absolutely terrific in that movie. Also, I think what these characters have in common, and let's face it, Joe, you're entitled to your opinion. I think you're a little harsh on these two actors, in my opinion. I think they're both clearly smart actors. They have both gone on to have long careers. John Getz as a performer who you probably have seen a million times and didn't even recognize him as the guy from Blood Simple. And Peter Berg is a director,
Yeah.
right? Peter Berg has virtually stopped acting, and now he's a director, which means he's kind of smart, right? And it's not easy for smart actors to play kind of dense characters, which is what both of these guys are in the movies. I mean, yeah, they just seem like dunces who would totally fall for the nonsense that they get involved in these films. They would be stupid enough to do this, especially Peter Berg in The Last Seduction. And I thought he was good in that film before I ever, because last year I showed that movie in LA, and John Dahl, the director, and Peter Berg came out and talked about it. And Peter, who I think actually may have been a little high when he was there at the show, he didn't expect to be interviewed.
Yeah.
And God love him, he agreed to do it. And either he was just a little high, or he was just totally disarming and not afraid to say anything that popped into his head. God bless him. He was great. And he just, his tales of working with Linda Fiorentino were fantastic. I mean, I think we have a video of all this.
Yeah, we do. That's up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. People can watch this.
At Noir City.
Yeah. But I just, and I don't get where, I'm not sure how you can describe their characters as disposable. They're completely essential to the plot in both cases. And I'm wondering if you're looking at this, Joe, from a viewer's point of view, like, wow, I wish these guys had more star quality or something, versus what their role is in the story. Because I actually don't think you could play that part much better than Peter Berg played it in The Last Seduction. Yeah. I mean, he has to seem, there are a lot of contrivances in that plot. Yeah. And he had to create a character that would believably, there's a term for this that is indelicate, but he is led around by a certain part of his anatomy.
Yeah.
And his brain doesn't really figure into it, because that certain part of his anatomy may be much bigger than his brain. And he does that very convincingly in the film. And I think the scene at the end where he realizes that he's been totally had, he's great. I think both he and Bill Pullman are fantastic in that movie. Certainly not disposable. Yeah. So I thought that was harsh. And then Joe also adds, on another level, I really believe David Lynch made his own version of Blood Simple with Barry Gifford in Lost Highway. A lot of Blood Simple scenes and plot points intersect, interestingly, with Lynch's film. That had never occurred to me. But I'm not so sure that the Coen brothers and David Lynch weren't just drawing their inspiration from like the history of crime fiction, not like there was any actual overlap between the films, as much as they both love traditional crime fiction. I mean, Blood Simple is a Dashiell Hammett expression. And, obviously the Coen brothers love Hammett because they, Blood Simple has a lot of Hammett concepts in it.
Yeah.
And they, as does Miller's Crossing and The Man Who Wasn't There. These guys are total fanatics for crime fiction, as was David Lynch. But the way he adapted crime fiction to the screen was much more. He was much more into the subconscious aspects of it than just the plot elements and stuff. He was just using that as a spine to get to something else in his work. So I don't know exactly what Joe is referencing when he says there's a lot of similarities between the two plots. But I just know that they're both massive fans of crime fiction, both on the page and on film. And so it doesn't surprise me that there are a lot of similarities in the plots of their films. Okay.
This is Diane from Westchester, Pennsylvania. No, it's not. It's Harriet. Sorry.
Or it's both.
I think that was left over from a previous question.
Oh, okay.
So this is Harriet. Why do TDF fans pick on Fred MacMurray? He's not supposed to telegraph evil.
What is TDF?
I don't know. That the initials were just left in there. I was just wondering the same thing. I realized.
Why do TDF fans pick on Fred MacMurray? Huh. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it's supposed to be TCM.
I have no idea. Wow. But I don't know specifically how to answer that question, but I know a lot of people who pick on Fred MacMurray for his noir stuff is because they can't get over the fact that he's not Robert Mitchum or Humphrey Bogart, right?
Yeah.
Which is why he works so well in Double Indemnity. And Fred MacMurray, I mean, I get it. I thought the same thing, 40 years ago. Like, this guy, come on, for exactly that reason. He's not Bogart, he's not Mitchum. And then you grow up and you realize, he's much closer to the way normal guys are.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm with you, Harriet or Diane or whoever. I don't get why anybody picks on Fred MacMurray. If you've seen him, in The Apartment and the Cane Mutiny and all this stuff, and Pushover, you know that he's not the guy in My Three Sons, know. So yeah, he's very versatile and he's really good. So give the guy his due.
Yeah. And he's just really great in I mean, I think the reason why what you just said is that he's like a regular person, and I think that's much more effective. I mean, because like what is it? There's Always Tomorrow.
Yeah, There's Always Tomorrow. Yeah, with Barbara Stanwyck and Joan Bennett. Yeah,
because he's believable in that role, and the way I think some other actors from Hollywood in that time period, if they had cast him in that role, I don't know that it would have been. They wouldn't have really. It just would have been feeling like they were playing this character, whereas he feels very authentic in that role.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure how many actors in that time in Hollywood really could have felt that authentic in that role.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I have zero problem with him in Double Indemnity. I think
he's perfect.
Great in Double Indemnity
because he is. He's and he comes across like a sales guy. You know,
totally.
He feels like a bunch of sales guys that I've met in my life. You know what I mean? And he feels so real in that. And
he is also. This is something that is hard for people to get sometimes. It's like that previous question about actors who have to portray people who are much dumber than they are. right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever saw, I forget what this movie was called, but it was like a comedy noir made many years ago with Tracy Ullman was in it, and I love Tracy Ullman.
She's great.
But there were two hitmen. I think she hires hitmen to kill her husband or something.
Oh yeah.
And right, and the two hitmen were played by William Hurt and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God, I forgot about this film.
William Hurt was so not believable in the part because he was supposed to play somebody who was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like a dumb hitman. And Keanu Reeves could do this effortlessly.
Yeah.
Right. And I was never a huge Keanu Reeves fan. I think as a person, he's fabulous. I love the guy. But I just never got him as an actor. And then I saw him completely blow William Hurt away in this part because there was no way I believed William Hurt playing like a dumb kind of stoner dude because he could not hide the fact that he was this super cerebral intellectual guy pretending to be stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas Keanu Reeves had no problem at all, just like shutting down and just like, whoa, dude, I mean, Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah.
But it's not that easy. And it was a goof for William Hurt, but Keanu Reeves sold the part 110%, right?
Yeah. So I just want to say really quickly too, if you want to see Reeves really doing something different, he has a supporting role in a Sam Raimi film called The Gift, which is about a psychic. And he plays this one character's abusive husband, and he's really, really scary in it.
Wow.
Really scary. And then I found out later, I guess he was talking about, but his father was abusive. So I guess he was drawing on that experience. But it's like shocking when you see this film because he's really like, you're viscerally afraid of him.
Wow.
And it's really just so different. Yeah. Anyway.
It's interesting how your opinions about people change because I remember I could not, I just didn't get him at all when he started making movies. I just didn't like, are you kidding me? This is the best you can do. And that guy he is so grown into his parts and he's just terrific. Like the Devil's Advocate. He's great in that film. And anyway, that's it. Okay, moving on. We're running behind.
He also seems to be just a completely wonderful person in real life.
Absolutely.
Like the more you hear about him, his personal life, the more you like him.
Absolutely, just a super cool guy who uses his fame and celebrity in all the best ways. He's just great. He's just a very cool guy.
A Danish film that I should have brought up before, but this conversation reminded me, Small Town Killers. It is on Shudder. So yeah, and it is Ulrich Thompson again. So it's two guys that they're like, building contractors, but they're also always, not reporting income so people don't have to pay tax on their on their stuff and all. Anyway, so basically they get really drunk one night and they go on the dark web and they hire like a Russian hitman to come and murder their two wives.
Oh, geez. Okay, just a little light fare. Yeah.
Yeah. So they, and of course they wake up the next day and they're sober and like, oh my God, what have we done? So they get to the airport and this guy shows up and he's really drunk, this Russian. And so they're trying to get him to leave and he won't. He says, no, I'm going to do this for you.
Okay. Stop now. Sold. Gonna watch this. And once again, it is called
Small Town Killers. And it is on Shudder. Okay. So if you have AMC, it'll be on there because Shudder's their parent company. Okay.
All right. I'm reading the next one.
You're doing this.
Okay.
One.
This is. I don't really understand the signature on this. It says David, not the 51st state. I don't understand what that means, but and neither do you. So we'll just read it. Okay. David says, I really enjoy Noir Alley. Very informative. I recently went back and watched some old film noir on TCM. There was a very old introduction by the late, great Robert Osborne to a noir that I can't remember the title. Then I saw the Czar of Noir before Noir Alley do the exact same introduction, but added a few more lines. Do you remember this introduction and the name of the film? How did you do the same introduction? Well, David, I have no idea what you're talking about. I did co-host a night with Bob Osborne, and it was either 2013 or 14. But my scripts have always been my own scripts. I write my own scripts for TCM, and there's no way that Bob Osborne would have access to one of my scripts or vice versa. So without knowing the name of the film, I actually have no way of responding to this. So I don't know. And I also don't know, like, I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't some coincidental overlap between the two, but I don't know what year this was or what the film was or who presented it first or whatever. But I know that I did a night in Noir City with Bob. In fact, I'm up here on my bookcase. I have a picture of the two of us in a frame from that shoot. And yeah, that's it. I honestly don't know how to answer that, because there is no way that we would have shared a script. That would not happen. Okay. You go.
And this is a kid from Oklahoma. By the way, at some point, if Ken could email me and let me know where in Oklahoma he's from, that'd be cool, because I'm from Bartlesville, Oklahoma originally. So every time I read one of his things, I always wonder where in Oklahoma Ken is from.
Okay.
John Woo's 1997 movie Face Off, whatever you think of the quality of the film, has a concept with switching faces that could have been done during the height of film noir 50 years earlier. Is there another movie concept that either of you believe could also have been done during the classic film noir period, but was not for whatever reasons? Something that if you go back in time, something that if you could go back into time, pitch to a movie studio as a film noir plot.
Well,
I think that Danish film I just talked about.
Where the husbands and wives hire,
like
yeah. That's not bad. I could kind of see that.
Little Preston Sturges action in there.
Well, the trading faces thing is, there were some films in the classic noir era that did have that premise. Anthony Mann's Strange Impersonation was one. There's a film called Stolen Face with Liz Scott and Paul Henry that I'm actually showing later this year on Noir Alley. There was also a film called The Man with My Face. There was, I think, the first Hollywood movie to actually be shot in Puerto Rico in the late 1950s. That was the same thing. A guy comes home and finds a guy who looks just like him taking over his life. But this is a hard question for me to answer, because I don't really think in terms of like hooks like this for stories. I think more in terms of when people say, if you could go back in time and do a movie, it wouldn't be because there was a hook. It would be an adaptation of something that wasn't able to be made at the time because of the production code.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that's what I gravitate to. So like, they never made Hammett's Red Harvest as a movie. They never made Jonathan Latimer's Solomon's Vineyard as a movie. They didn't do Black Wings Has My Angel as a movie. They didn't do Goodis's Cassidy's Girl, all that kind of stuff, because the people who wanted to make those films had no juice. They had they had no way to get those past the Breen office because they weren't films that the major studios really wanted to make. But now all of those novels are like classic noir novels that should have been adapted at that time.
Oh, I can tell you right now, Audie Murphy should have played the sheriff in The Killer Inside Me.
It would have been
it would have been
perfect.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, would have been perfect. Yeah. Yeah. But now we appreciate that. Like, what a concept, having the All-American boy play Lou Ford in that story. What a great idea. But let's face it, Hollywood, there's no way in hell that they would have done. I mean, it was crazy enough that he, the Red Badge of Courage.
Yeah.
But there's no way they were going to make him a psycho killer.
He is a no name on the bullet, though.
Okay, well,
but I think because it was a Western and stuff, they kind of could. But and he wasn't completely irredeemable.
Yeah,
the way that Lou is. But plus it was just that he could do the accent. I mean, obviously he was from Texas, so also the accent.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that was a very interesting question. I wish my brain was firing on all cylinders so I could come up with some clever premises right now for films made in that era. But mostly I just regret the ones that got away. Like, it's a shame they never could make a movie out of it, or maybe not. I'm sure they wouldn't have. The version of Red Harvest, which was supposed to be made at Paramount in 1942 with Alan Ladd.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been a particularly accurate rendition of the novel. But you can always wonder. Who's does the last one?
You do the last one.
Okay.
And all we have photos, so
you're going to have to handle the photo part because I can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this is our friend Lauren from Chicago. Says, I always felt most leading men in 1940s movies, like Cary Grant, James Stewart, and Robert Taylor, all looked great wearing hats. Throw Alan Ladd in there. I think he was maybe the best at wearing a hat.
Yeah.
The exception was Clark Gable, who looked better without a fedora. Although it happened one night. He looks pretty good in a fedora.
I think he looked at a fedora in that, yeah.
My father, note this photo from circa 1940. Okay. He wore a fedora for work and social occasions from the early 30s to the mid 70s. Okay, let's take a look at your dad. I don't know your dad's name, but look, he's like got a nice. What is that car he's leaning on? Somebody watching must know. I was watching a film called Violence on Noir Alley. There you go. And I saw Sheldon Leonard, note photo, wearing a specific style of hat that I thought really stood out. Oh, yeah, there you go. Eddie, does Sheldon Leonard's hat in this movie qualify for your Noir Hat Hall of Fame? That's pretty good. Sheldon Leonard could definitely. Now, see, Sheldon Leonard, that was kind of a gangster hat because gangster hats, and I don't think this one quite qualifies. I mean, it has a extra wide brim, like Richard Widmark wore in Kiss of Death, but I think Sheldon Leonard generally had a wide brim with what they call brim binding. That was the little ribbon around that finished the brim. I have one of those hats.
Right.
So most felt hats have an unfinished brim where it's just a hard cut on the felt all the way around the brim. But sometimes they have the added a little color, it looks like a little ribbon that goes all the way around the brim. And I have a recollection of Sheldon Leonard wearing a lot of those hats in his performances. But yeah, that is a good hat. Sheldon Leonard was was good character in a lot of these films before he became a very, very famous TV producer. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Enough of Sheldon Leonard.
Enough
We
of
want to
Sheldon
see you.
Leonard.
We want to see you again, Ann.
Yes.
So
Let me get out of here.
Anyway, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go make dinner.
Okay.
And I have nothing really to add in terms of what I've been watching or reading because I've been working so much just trying to get scripts written and this manuscript done and finishing this film project. It's been a load. There was, and I think I mentioned previously, excuse me if I did, that Kathleen and I fell in love with this Italian series called Petra. Have I mentioned that before? Yeah. Well, we finally finished that, and now I'm having like postpartum depression because I really kind of fell in love with those two characters, the two cops who were partners, and it was just I really enjoyed that show, and now it's all over. So, but I highly recommend it. I really like both of those characters. So that's it. That's my recommendation. As always, it's on MHZ, which I spend a lot of time watching because I just find their approach to crime shows is a lot better than what you're getting in this country.
Yeah, I definitely am still on the Maigret. It's going to take me a while to get through those because, obviously I don't have a lot of free time. But I've been doing that. And I forgot to mention Enough Rope has Robert Hussein in it playing the detective. And there's definitely there's some stuff that he did really reminded me of Columbo's character. So that was kind of interesting.
So this was made before 2020 because he died in 2020.
Yeah. This film was from the 50s. So it must have been made pretty close to when the novel came out.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And like I said, it's a Patricia Highsmith novel. And I'd read the novel and I don't know the name of the actor. He looked familiar that plays the lead. And like I said, it was just really great for me because it was it finally clicked in my head. No, this guy's just an idiot. That was
okay.
That's what it was. Because I was why is this guy doing this? What is his motivation and stuff? And in the book, I couldn't never quite figure it out completely. And then I watched this, so I realized she was just being completely focusing in on the fact that this guy's an idiot.
Guy's an idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
And my last thing I'll just tell people, because you'll probably pick this up and promote it on social media. I did what I thought was a really fun interview with Eric Martin of CineVerity podcast about I guess it's the 50th anniversary of Taxi Driver.
Yes.
And so we did a show talking all about that film, and boy, it called up a lot of stuff from my early years when I saw that film the first time, and it was really it was great fun talking about it. And by the time this episode of Ask Eddie and Ann appears, I think that show will also be available, and we should lead people to it because I thought it was pretty worthwhile.
Yes, we will definitely post that on our social media accounts.
Okay, now I'm starving. I'm going to go maybe have another martini, but definitely eat some dinner.
Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for watching, for the questions. Yep. If you watch on YouTube, please share, like, and subscribe. It really helps the channel here. And we do not do anything like channel memberships. We don't put ads in or anything like that. So if you like what you see, then donate to us at the filmnoirfoundation.org. And you can just drop us whatever you would have given us on YouTube. Just give it to us there so we don't have to we don't have to put commercials in and that kind of stuff, because I want to keep this just for people to enjoy.
Precisely. Okay, great. And always a pleasure to see you. I hope Emily's feeling a little better.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you very soon.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Good night.